Once upon a time, in the sunny, sparkling world beside the great river Nile, there lived many tiny mice. These mice were jolly and kind, always sharing cheese and playing games. The riverbanks where they lived were beautiful, but they had to be careful because sometimes big creatures would come stomping by. Now, not far from where the mice danced and played, there lived a group of clever weasels. These weasels were smart and quick, and they always wore shiny, smooth coats that glistened in the sun. The weasels knew how to solve tricky problems and find their way out of tough spots. One day, while playing hide and seek, a little mouse named Mimi stumbled into a bush and found herself face to face with Wendy Weasel. Mimi squeaked in surprise, but Wendy just smiled. "Hello, little mouse. Don't be scared, I won't hurt you," said Wendy, her eyes twinkling. "But you know, the world can be a big and scary place for tiny mice like you." Mimi nodded, her whiskers trembling a bit. "Yes, we sometimes wish we had friends to protect us." Wendy's smile grew wider as she had an idea. "What if we weasels help protect you and your friends? In return, you can share your cheese with us," she suggested cleverly. Mimi thought that sounded like a great idea. Protection for cheese seemed like a fair trade. So she hurried back to tell all the other mice. They all agreed excitedly, and soon they had a deal with the weasels. For a while, everything was wonderful. The weasels kept the big creatures away, and the mice shared their cheese. But soon, the weasels started asking for more than just cheese. They wanted the mice to do chores for them and even give up their favorite hiding spots. The tiny mice realized they weren't really free anymore. They were safe from the other big creatures, but now they had to do everything the weasels said. This made the mice very sad. One bright morning, Mimi had an idea. What if we don't need the weasels to protect us? What if we protect ourselves? She suggested. All the mice gathered to hear Mimi's plan. "We are small, but we are smart and quick. We can watch out for each other and find new places to hide where only we can go," she explained. The mice decided to work together. They started watching for danger themselves and found tiny tunnels and burrows where only they could fit. They played their games quietly and always kept a lookout. Soon, the weasels noticed that the mice didn't need them anymore. The weasels couldn't fit into the tiny tunnels or find the secret burrows. And without the extra cheese and no chores being done for them, the weasels realized they weren't as clever as they thought. In the end, the weasels left to find another place to live, and the mice continued to live happily and freely on the riverbank. They still played hide and seek and shared their cheese, but most importantly, they looked out for each other. And so the tiny mice learned that by working together, they could take care of themselves just fine. And they all lived merrily ever after by the shimmering Nile.